Pisces, hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Oh, y'all, I look tired. It's because I am. Pisces, you guys have the Father, the Box, the Shadow, the Bardo, and the Shapeshifter. Pisces, I just feel like this sense of being caught in a cycle of being lifted up on a pedestal and dropped flat on your face. And exploring the shadow side of that, because I think the shadow side of that is that poof poof energy, right? Pisces can Pisces experience life through experience. They're like I don't want to. I mean, not to say that Pisces would. I mean, I know lots of Pisces who love reading because they get lost in the story, right? I'm lost in the experience. I'm lost in the telling of it. I'm lost in the whatever, whatever. So you can get lost in an experience, right? Is this a Pisces read? The idea of like you get really, really hyped for something and then it's not really what you want. Yeah, that was a Pisces read. What do I want? So I feel like for a lot of my Pisces, this is internal, of just still kind of in that energy of like, I really, really want something and then I don't want it. And then I really, really want it and then I don't want it. For other of my Pisces, maybe it's not that you really, really want something. It's that you feel like you're really, really wanted and then you're not wanted. Those are really basic statements for me to make, right? Because you could feel like you're really, really wanted and then you're not wanted, but you're in a cycle of relationships that are like love bombing. Like you lose yourself. I mean, especially Venus and Pisces, because Venus and Pisces can just like get lost in love and not have any, well, I won't say not have any, because that sounds like a very like definitive statement, but generically speaking, not be one to like hold boundaries in your relationships. Because you'll lose yourself in them and then you'll lose your identity and then you feel like you're not really living the life that you want to live. And then you get frustrated and you feel like you're in this box and it's like, why is it that I can't have the one thing that I want? I really want a relationship. I really want this. I really want that. And I keep thinking, oh, like I've got this thing. And then it's never what I actually want. Like, why? And I feel like for a lot of my Pisces, it's like, well, take the pieces that you liked from the different things, right? Because when you tried all of these things, you liked different elements of it, right? You were like, well, I like this about this, but I don't like all of that. And I like this about this, but I don't like all of that. And I like this about this, and I didn't like all of that. you know, I feel like there's this idea of you taking all of the varying experiences that you've had with all of the different types of people and all of the different places, because Pisces are so like, I don't want to say random because that sounds kind of like condescending, and I don't mean it in a condescending way in any way, shape, or form. Being random can be really fun because you have so many different experiences, because you meet so many different people, because you learn about so many different mindsets, mentalities, and philosophies and religions and whatever. And I feel like you're taking the culmination of all of those things and figuring out like what it is that you liked about all of those things. And then I feel like reinventing yourself in the context of the many variations of you all wrapped into one. Pisces, I love that. I think that's fantastic. Let's do some more clarifiers and see what else we can get for y'all. Pisces. I feel like when you come to the conclusion about like what it is that you are identifying yourself as. I don't know, that feels very specific to a Pisces who might be here with me today. Or, like but there is an element of identity, and like the identity that you've tried on all of these different identities, and you've liked parts of it and you haven't liked parts of it. And you're so ephemeral that you can just kind of bounce between them. But I feel like for whatever reason, bouncing between them for this specific energy, like you're bouncing between it, offended people. Like, who are you to think that you can bounce into that identity and bounce into that identity? You don't get to just like pop in and out. I feel like you offended some people along the way. I don't know why that's significant. I would just say that would be the shadow side of it. You're like, well, I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to explore. I'm just testing things out. I'm not, like, my intention isn't to offend anybody when I do that. Well, I mean, like an example that I would give that like I've experienced personally in life, because I resonate with, like the popping in and out of things and not always wanting to take on the identity of one thing, like, sorry if that offends you, but like, I've worked with, I have an associate's in New Testament. I've studied world religion. I have an interest in all those types of things. And so, I like to explore different facets of religious and philosophical sectors. And sometimes, no matter the organization, like it can feel a little culty, because there's always this idea that you have to like basically subject your entire essence to like this identity. And I would make comparisons between, the church and one of these organizations. And this person was really upset with me for doing that. And they were like, well, you're comparing it. And I was like, well, it's not a comparison so much as it's just like a correlation. It gives me a means of relatability to things I've otherwise experienced that allow for me to, enhance my understanding of this experience. And I feel like that's where you're coming from. You're like, well, no, I'm just enhancing my experience overall. Like, if there are beautiful elements to be enjoyed in all of these different things, like, why can I not enjoy these beautiful elements without claiming it as my identity? And I feel like whatever this, like, and maybe some of y'all have Aquarius in your chart or you're dealing with an Aquarian, because there is almost this idea of rebranding, like your identity, but this time you're the one who's creating the design. Instead of really liking what they're doing and really liking what they're doing, or really enjoying this, or I really am going to do this and I'm really going to do this. It's like, no, 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 no. Instead of trying to like take on other people's things because there are facets of it that you enjoy, you need to take the culmination of those facets that you enjoy and create your own thing. Create your own identity. Create your own experience. I feel like that's what you're doing. And I feel like you're doing it in like with like a grand sweeping gesture that has such a high level of awareness, because you have poofed in and out of so many different things that like you finally, I think, are ready. I think you finally feel prepared to recreate yourself or rebrand your business, rebrand your whatever. I just feel like this. I feel stuck in this, so I'm going to figure out what all it is that I want to do, and I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it instead of trying to do it through other people, other facets, other whatever. Pisces. Okay. Love that. Love, 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 love. Everything that I just said. Because the Eight of Cups is the idea of missing out. And you're working on yourself, but you're still like, well, I mean, yeah, I really enjoy all of these things, but like, I feel like I'm missing this part, and I feel like I'm missing that, and I feel like I'm missing this, you know? So I'm just gonna like keep focused on what I'm doing, because you've acquired such a high level of knowledge and a high level of understanding at this point, because you poofed in and out of so many different things, that you're seeing your way out, and it feels like not like, I don't know, I just feel like this sense of self-satisfaction, self-gratification, because you've made your way out. You've reinvented yourself. For some of you, I feel like you're preparing for this reemergence, right? You're like, no, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. But it's good to know that that's the direction I'm going, right? I feel encouraged by that. I feel that. I get that. I get that. For sure. That's why we're here. To keep our focus, to not get lost in the experiences. Okay. Pisces. King of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Strength, and Six of Pentacles. Well, yeah. You know, it does. It takes strength to reinvent yourself. You know, but the Eight of Swords is just kind of that idea of like, she's loosely bound. She can get out of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're loosely bound, and that's been part of the contention that you've experienced, is the fact that you've been loosely bound, vaguely committed. You know what I mean? Just kind of this idea of like, and you could get out of that, but you needed to find the strength to do that, because you needed to understand who you were emerging as, you know, outside of all of these different people, groups, experiences, mentalities, whatever. You know, because your goal wasn't to take on anybody else's identity or to take on anybody else's journey. It was to figure out what part of theirs fit with yours while you were creating what you wanted for yourself. And I feel like, again, the Six of Pentacles in this deck always reads to me as the seal from Peter to give to Paul. And I think that maybe that point of contention of like, you know, people felt like, well, why are you here learning about this if you don't want to commit your life to this? And you being like, well, because it's still really important. And it's great that you're committed to that, because you have the expert knowledge that I don't need to bother myself with acquiring, because you already have that. I'm doing something different. And that can be frustrating to other people, because they feel like you're not as dedicated to their art or their skill as they are. And if you really wanted it, and I feel like you've been like, but that's not what I really want. What I want is to see what all I can use to create something completely different. And I want to incorporate this, and I want to incorporate that, and I want to incorporate this, because I respect all of it. And I see use and benefit from all of it, you know, all of these experiences, all of these perspectives, all of these mentalities. I just need to take the good from all of it, and not get lost in the semantics of all of it, you know. And you've like intentionally or unintentionally done that. Depends on my Pisces, honestly. All right, Pisces, let's do one more card for y'all, and we will call it a read. The River. This came out for somebody else. I want to say the Scorpio. It's the idea of the fear of missing out. I don't, you can be on either side of the story. These are general reads. You can be dealing with somebody in this energy. You know, like honestly, the fear of missing out to me is coming through in two ways. I mean, I feel like for some of my Pisces, the fear of missing out is like, for whatever reason, like this is your chance to like rebrand. This is your chance to reinvent yourself. And like you do not want to miss this opportunity. You don't want to miss it. But I feel like there's a but, and I feel like the but is the idea that like it's going to require some major changes. It's going to require some major upheaval. I don't get the feeling that you feel overwhelmed by the idea of upheaval though. You're just like poof 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 poof. Change doesn't scare you at all. Well, I won't say at all, like ever, but like primarily, like for the most part, like you can dreamscape your way into change pretty easily. You can talk yourself into seeing things. And I say that as it's a positive thing to be able to do that, right? But whatever this is that you're afraid of missing out on, it's something that I think is just requiring a little bit of upheaval. And I think that upheaval was that you were being required or are being required, past tense, present tense, future tense, I don't know, take what resonates, how it resonates, and leave the rest. But you were being required to figure out who you wanted to be. And that meant trying on all the roles, playing all the parts. And then I think creating your own character. Because you don't want to miss out on this. I don't know what it is that you don't want to miss out on. I don't know what this change of luck is for you, because I almost feel like for a lot of my Pisces, I just feel like something happens, something that you weren't anticipating. But I feel like whatever it is, you're like, I don't know, I almost feel like you're prepared. You're prepared for this opportunity because you've poofed, because you've acquired this information, because you've invested the time to understand like all the different experiences and what positive things you can take and what other things you can leave behind. I don't know how that'll play out for you as an individual. I really don't. But I think that things are turning around for you. And I love that. And I think that when they turn around, you're going to step out as somebody who's unrecognizable. And I think for a lot of you, the reason that your energy will not be recognizable could be a physical change, but energetic for sure. But I think that part of it will be that, like, because if you're somebody who has been perceived previously as somebody who just takes and takes and takes, and then you turn it around and somehow, like, I feel like in a way, you've done like the disservice that was perceived is now almost, it's like it got flipped on its head. Like the idea of being a disservice. Like it's a disservice for me to understand something unless, well, if you take it in terms of marketing, like I don't need to know the ins and outs of your business to like turn your business around. So, like for me to just only understand an element of that, like that might seem like a really bad thing until you recognize the fact that like, or until they recognize the fact, or however this plays out for you, that like what you've done is actually found a way to like bring a better perspective, to create respect where maybe there wasn't respect, to like build this bridge, to create connection where there was disconnection because you aren't knee deep in it. You've recreated yourself in a way that allows you to offer a positive sense of representation to the communities that may have otherwise felt like you had simply just taken from them. This does have very much like that Aquarian read. If you guys do have Aqua in your charts, definitely go check out that read because it's got that vibe. But It's a good read. It's positive. It's all good things, you guys, and I love it. I'm here for it. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me and for being here with me today. If this does resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.